Hi everybody, this is Red Hill Eagle and welcome back to our TEW2020 save on the Invasion angle from 2001. This is episode 6. It's Nitro. So to kick off, Diamond Dallas Page is in the ring and it's just a self-promo really where he talks about getting back to winning ways. He hasn't got off to a great start since Shane McMahon took over WCW, but last week he did get a victory. He beat even Karagias, if I've pronounced that right. So he's here again now and he's saying I'm back to winning ways. You know, this is me again. It's only going to go up from here. Rating of 66. He's interrupted by Rob Van Dam, a new signing, and RVD just makes the challenge and he says you know, you want a future star, you got it. And Diamond Dallas Page tonight then in the main event will take on Rob Van Dam. That's a rating of 67. Leviathan then in action. He made his debut last week and he's in action again tonight where he faces Mark Mero and he gets the win in 9 minutes 40 by pinfall with a sit-out powerbomb. An overall rating of 39. Leviathan is still unknown. Mark Mero is not much better. Didn't really expect much more from this one. By the way, I'll just say now as well, I've made Nitro an hour and a half. So there'll be a few more matches, a little bit more going on. Kevin Nash is then in the ring and it's a self-promo and he says he's already got off to a winning start. Last week he had a victory against Rick Steiner and you know, he thinks he's WCW's saviour. And he says tonight, you know, I am the biggest star the WCW has to offer. There's nobody else. There's no one that even touches me. Rating of 60. Then we have some tag team action as Christopher Daniels and Damien Steele take on Jindrak and Stasiak. And it's the latter that get the win when Mark Jindrak pins Damien Steele after using a foreign object. So he did have to cheat to get the win. Mark Jindrak carried the match in terms of in-ring performances and it's an overall rating of 47. Booker T is then backstage and he's kind of chasing Shane McMahon. He's following him down and he wants to talk to Shane. He's got some, you know, some news for him, or he's got some, you know, some sort of question. He seems quite eager actually. But Shane's, I can't now, Booker. I'm really sorry. I'm busy. You know, we've got another big signing coming tonight. You know, I'm going to go out and do an interview soon, but I'm waiting to meet this guy. You know, this is important to me. This is important to the company. Whatever it is, Booker, I'm sorry. It can wait. It can wait. And Shane just flies off, and Booker's just, you know, left standing there. You know, what the hell kind of thing. And it's an overall rating of 69. Shane Helms then takes on Chavo Guerrero Jr. Shane Helms has lost his first two matches since Nitro returned, but he was facing people above his weight class, so he's decided to put his cruiserweight title on the line tonight against Chavo, and he gets the win in 6 minutes 39 by submission. So it's, he gets to keep the cruiserweight championship, and it's an overall rating of 51. We then have a next week graphic. The Prototype will make his debut, and again, anyone who knows their wrestling history will know who this is. He was the Prototype before he started using his real name, so I've decided to go with that. For those of you who don't know and you want to save on the research, well, I'll tell you now. If you don't want to know, then just skip a few seconds. It's John Cena. Okay, so the Prototype will be making his debut next week. It's an overall rating of 49, which isn't too bad actually, considering he's you know, he's unimportant, brand new, very young, but he's got some pretty decent star quality, and his entertainment skills aren't too shabby either. Kurt Hennig then takes on Dustin Rhodes, and this was just a match to get Dustin, well, get him off really, get him off the mark, get him a victory. Kurt Hennig was a pretty decent opponent for him, I think. A rating of 53. And Rhodes does get the victory in 15 minutes 28 by pinfall with a bulldog. Shane McMahon is then in the ring and he talks to the crowd. He talks about, you know, things are slowly getting better, they're going to improve, we've made some signings, you know, there's some big future stars coming our way. But it's not just the future. There's some people from the past. There's some people from the past, WCW's past, that are absolute legends in this business. And I would like to introduce you all now to Ric Flair. And Shane introduces Flair as Flair gives his famous woo, and comes out and he gives what we call a typical Ric Flair promo, profiling, styling, all that. I can't do it, but that's a good rating, 70. So Ric Flair has returned to the WCW. I'm going to try and do a bit more of this when they come available. You probably guessed it anyway. If I'm going to do an invasion angle and I'm going to do it differently to the WWF, then I've got to be doing it so we sign these kinds of people. Got a few others in mind. One particular big star I would love to have signed has announced their retirement, which is puts a bit of a spanner in the works. I could go in and edit it to fantasy book, but I think we'll go with it, and maybe have them come in a different capacity to an in-ring role. But Ric Flair's here, and it's a rating of 70. Then our main event, Diamond Dallas Page takes on Rob Van Dam, the debuting Rob Van Dam, and it's RVD who gets the win in 10.5 minutes by pinfall with his 5-star frog splash. Rating of 56. Diamond Dallas Page, he had a victory last week, but he just can't seem to, get anything worthwhile, get anything worth shouting about. And post-match, he's pretty angry. He's furious that he lost. You can see it in his eyes. You can see he's angry. He's not angry at RVD. He's more kind of angry with himself. But where does he go from here? Where does DDP go from here? Rating of 64. What do we get overall? 59. I can't remember what the other ratings were, but yeah, that's not too bad. I mean, a decent promo there. A couple of the matches, well, we've got a few kind of, well, it is what it is again still, but we're still struggling. We've got 1 star and we've got, I think, 3 or 4 well known, and then everyone's recognizable or unimportant. That's it. So this is very much a building process for this roster, as I've said before. I won't ramble. I'm just going to say you've probably seen I've got another new series on YouTube, an AWA revival. Please join me on that one if it interests you to see how I'm going to get a revival, a revived AWA into some money, because they start off 2.5 million in debt. So let's see how I get on with that one. Please like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this, and I will see you all again pretty soon. Goodbye.